Welcome to Rich in Blockchain.
Okay guys, today is the 22nd of September 2022 and we are just doing a bit of a market recap anyway with what has happened with BTC and the rest of the cryptocurrency space within the last pretty much 24 hours of recording. So having a look at BTC, we can see that it has broke down and retested the previous lows. Right now we are coming up to retest this resistance zone, which was once support. So it's been supporting so many times, wicked up and then came back down. There was a lot of bearish news in the FOMC meeting. So right now BTC is trying to break through and regain this level of resistance, which is now this level of resistance. So once it turns that into breaks through the resistance, it should come back and be support. But in my opinion, what may happen is we're still within this channel in the smaller time frame. So looking at the 5-minute time frame, let me make this bigger. We can see that we are within the channel at the moment. So in my opinion, what may happen in the coming hours is that this becomes a flag. Just letting it load. Sorry about that. So this becomes a flag and we do an A, B, C correction down to that $17,000 mark, which is also the previous support as well, which has been tested prior since the June lows. So that's that for BTC. Still looking bearish in my opinion, but yeah, we'll have to just wait and see. If it does break the trend and turn that support or previous support, which is now resistance, into a new support, then we are looking more bullish. But in my opinion, currently at the moment, there is no real bullish news for BTC or the whole markets in general. They decided to raise rates by 75 basis points and see what happens from then on. So not great for the economy, no one's willing to spend. And also the DXY has gone up, but I'll show you that later on. So now having a look at ETH. ETH is in the same boat as BTC, but yesterday it was very volatile. Just looking at the hourly, we can see that we had a large volume candle here. So what happened yesterday was it wicked through between this high as 1410 all the way back down to 1320 for a few minutes. Yeah, a lot of cascading liquidations happening there. Those that didn't have their stop set in place lost a lot of money. Currently doing the same thing as well. I'm seeing a bearish flag continuation here happening for ETH, and the price target would be, let's say if I was to draw from that post there down here, the target would be, as I said, still at the $1,100 mark, which is a 14% move down, 14 to 15% move down. So just waiting for anyway for the channel to actually break downwards. But yeah, if that does not break at all, that point here, which is the 1280, if we do break past that point there, 1282, which is the resistance zone here now, because we have broken that, which was one support. If we break that, then we can turn that into the support zone. But currently there's not enough strength coming in, and looking at the volume itself, we can see that clearly there's no way that's going to really break more. So we're going to be breaking down, in my opinion. So what may happen is similar to what BTC did. We will be doing this. So breaking up, down, back here. So down to $1,100 mark. But yeah, you just have to wait until time is right, and then it should move. I mean, weekend's coming up soon, so we'll see what happens then. So having a look at BNB, held up pretty well. Not much of a correction, bit of a week in between because of yesterday's FOMC meeting. But looking, in my opinion, it's still coming down to that 240 mark. Just have to be patient with that one. So nothing much on that one at all. So it's still doing the massive ABC correction wave down. Yeah, it's just going to take some time. Looking at 88 Cardano. Everyone's expecting a bit of a pump for the hard fork that's to come today, but since there's been no news whatsoever, not no news, but since the market's been volatile, no one's expecting anything much to come in terms of price pumping. Looking at the daily time frame, we can see that it's pretty much just continuing downwards. No real changes yet, so we've broken out of that downwards trend line, just trading sideways. In my opinion, we're going to come back down anyway to retest the local lows this year, which is about the 40-cent range. But if we do break below that, yeah, be prepared. Looking at XRP, it has been bullish. So pretty much touching one of our points there. So it's continuing on up. So we may soon see a retest of this downwards trend line anyway. And when that happens, we can expect XRP to pretty much either take off or break down. But in my opinion, we'll most likely see a take off first more than anything else. It may come up to retest this 200 and 100 moving average before we actually shoot back down for a bit. But I think the main reason why it's going up is to do with the SEC's impending case at the moment. Looking at Solana, better off looking at on the daily, just to see if there's a bigger picture side of things. Still currently under the 50 moving average. Yeah, won't be much going on here for Solana until we decide to break out. But it is still possible, in my opinion, that we go to the $16 mark. Matic, pretty similar. It's broken its trend. It came close to touching the previous support zone, which you could say it technically did if you were to move this up a bit. So it's right now on the previous resistance, which is broken through, but now which is turned into support. So if this holds, it'll be fine. But if it doesn't, the next level of support would be at the 32.3 cent mark. Having a look at Chainlink. Chainlink on the daily. It's broken down. So yeah, because of yesterday's volatility, it's broken down. If this doesn't hold, next level of support will be just under the $5 mark. But if it does bounce from this point here, which is at 6.24, we will continue on up. It's just going to take time. But yeah, as I said, there's a lot of risk off going on at the moment. So there's nothing really going on for the whole space. Having a look at near next, getting closer and closer to touching the massive support line. So hopefully we bounce from there. So as I said, I reckon there will be more further downsides to come. It's just a matter of when, not if, given the current macro environment. Next, having a look at VeChain, breaking down like many others, pretty much coming down to this support line now. It's going to take its time, but it'll eventually get there. So 1.95 cents is what I'm seeing for VeChain. Yeah, it's good to kind of ladder in your buys and not just buy all, because we can possibly break further down as well. Having a look at HAPI, HAPI is pretty much holding pretty well given the fluctuations that's been happening, but in my opinion, it's still going to come down to that $7 range at least. Yeah, so that's still in play. Having a look at that as well. A wave 5 correction to form a double bottom is possibly also at that 5.5 range. So, I mean, it's close to bottoming, in my opinion. It's just going to take some time. Having a look at the BTC Dominance, you can see clearly it's holding pretty well on the daily. So there's nothing much to really say about the BTC Dominance, but yeah, whether we break up or down is going to be very dependent, especially if BTC decides to drop, or we're going to see everyone rallying back into BTC. So BTC goes up for a bit during the bear market, which is what happened in the past, or are we going to break down because majority of alts decide to hold their value? Having a look at DXY has been on a rampage at the moment. So I'm not sure if this is still valid or not, because it looked like it actually broke down or broke out of the rising wedge, but right now it's retesting at this point here. Yeah, just gonna have to give it some time to see what it decides to do here. If it breaks down and breaks back in, I'm gonna see BTC and the rest of the altcoins pump a bit, because the DXY is pretty much just relaxing for a bit. But if it continues on up and retests the channel here, the market's going to be shooting downwards. In my opinion, if it still continues on up, because it's been creating a higher, if we look back in history, it's a bit messy, sorry about that. So looking at the monthly will be better. Okay, the next level of resistance would be at that 120. Hopefully it doesn't get there, because it'll spell a lot of gloom and doom for a lot of the markets, but it's just going to take time. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it looks like it's very overbought at the moment. But yeah, that's all I have time for today, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Anyway, my name is Rich, and you've been watching Rich in Blockchain. I'll catch you again soon for the next episode. Please remember to like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a good one.